So I watched the 2006 Rose Bowl between University of South Carolina and Texas. Well, I watched the full fourth quarter. And I think the most exciting part about football to me are the interceptions. And to me, more or less, it was, other than the interceptions, it was all right. It was more or less the same as any other football game. Well, wait, was that Matthew McConaughey? To me, I think what it is that I can't get invested in the players the same way as a TV show or WWE. I think that is why I'm not so crazy about sports. It's just that there's too many players, too many stats, too many things to remember, too many rules to consider. With movies and TV shows and WWE, you can get invested in one single character. I love The Undertaker in wrestling. I love all the matches that I've seen, all the matches that I grew up watching. I could root for him because he has a record, he has a stigma, he has a he's had multiple different characters. It's different because you can get invested in that character and you want that character to succeed. And with football, yeah, you can follow a player, you can follow a team, but I just feel like there's too much to remember. Like my brother tried getting me into it once because he wanted me to be into sports and the fantasy leagues, and he was like, "You got to memorize all the teams, all the players, their stats, their this, their that." I'm like, I don't have time for this. 2018 movies. I wouldn't say you're wrong. You've only seen 4 of the movies. I counted all the movies that I saw this year, and I saw 12 movies this year in the theaters. That's pretty much one movie a month. So I'm not going to go too much into 2018 because I got 2019 to talk about. But I'm going to give my top 5. First of all, I'm going to say the movies that I've seen, and then I'll just say what my top 5 is. I'll be quick about it. So first we got Jurassic World, we got Ready Player One, we got Solo, A Star Wars Story, Bohemian Rhapsody, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Wrecks the Internet, Ralph Breaks the Internet, Deadpool 2, Incredibles 2. I just recently saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Avengers Infinity War, Black Panther, and Searching. Coming in at number 5. Actually, the movie Searching, it was kind of a whim watch. We're like, oh, that seems interesting. And it's a whole movie that takes place on like webcams and cell phones and computer screens. And it's really interesting. It follows a whole, I'm going to try not to spoil anything. It follows, this guy's daughter goes missing. And the whole thing is him trying to connect all the pieces by contacting all the different people, and then you see all the interactions. It was just really well done. I did not expect to like it like that, and it was phenomenal. I thought it was a really good movie. Coming in at number 4, Bohemian Rhapsody. I loved that movie. Some complain because it's not exactly true to Freddie Mercury's life. I wasn't alive in the 80s. He died in the early 90s. And I fell in love with the music as I grew up. So as far as, the timeline and this, that, they had to change things to be more dramatic. And I understand what they did. The people in the band were very, very, very close to the project. They were there the whole time, so if they didn't have a problem with it, I don't really think that normal people should. But Queen's music is just phenomenal. Coming in at number 3. Avengers Infinity War. Whew. I can't wait for Endgame next year. Except they had to do my favorite character the way that they did at the end, and I don't approve of it. But it was such a fantastic movie. All the different places they were, all the different interactions between all the characters, like Guardians and Thor. It was such a good movie. Such a good movie. It was, yeah, I know it's number 3. It's just, I thought it was such a good movie. Coming at number 2 for me is Black Panther. I loved Black Panther. I think the funniest, the funniest line was in Shuri called Everett Ross colonizer. I don't know why I found that so funny. It was just really funny to me, and it just came out of nowhere. But that movie, like you said, Kev, was just gorgeous. Every location, every image, cinematography, the characters. While I don't agree that Killmonger was the best villain, because it kind of felt just like a Marvel movie to me. You know, bad guy was wronged, bad guy wants to get back, bad guy gets redemption. I think that's just the way that those movies go. But his convictions were strong. He was menacing. He actually posed a threat. You know, it was a good live action Lion King. It was a good live action Lion King. Just think about it. I think that's why it's so good. Number 1 for me of the year was Ready Player One. While it was not number 1 for you, and you did borrow my book, I was looking so forward to this movie. I remember reading it every day I remember reading the book every day during lunch. Because my brother Dan was like, oh, you gotta read this book, you gotta read this book. And we got it in a Loot Crate, of all things. So I read this book, and I'm getting drawn into it. All the characters, all the references, all the stuff going on. And when that spoiler thing that you said happened in the book, that part was just like, whoa, what just happened? Like, the book was smooth sailing, and then that thing happened, and the whole thing just went. It just got immensely better, and it was just like, ugh. I remember I was almost done with the book when they announced that Spielberg's going to be making a movie, and all the different thoughts were racing in my head, like, how are they going to bring these characters to life? How are they going to do all the virtual reality things? Are they going to do the things where they go into the video games, or when they have to recite a full movie, and this, that. It was so crazy. So it was like a full year and a half, or more, of just waiting to see how Spielberg's going to bring this to life. And the movie was almost completely different than the book, but it was so good. It was so good. I don't understand how a movie could be so different than the book, but just be as good. You know, people complain about Harry Potter. Oh, they took too much out of the books. They took too much from the books. They had these characters that never came in. You know, Game of Thrones, you've never watched it, but people complain all the time that, you know, there's a whole offset of characters that have never been introduced because, you know, at some point the show caught up with the book, and the next book never came out. So they're basically just going off the bullet points that George R. R. Martin has been giving them. But like with Ready Player One, it's just all the changes they made sense. I'm not going to get into spoilers, but there's some things I didn't like about it, the changes they made with Artemis. I also think all the characters were too good looking. If you've read the book, you know all the characters are just, well, Wade specifically is ugly. That was my top 5. I actually have 5 to talk about. But 2019, I'm going to go over my top 8. There are a lot of movies coming out next year, and I'm not going to talk about them in depth because I haven't seen them, so I can only talk about why I'm excited. So I'm just going to, I almost hate you for asking me to rate the 2019 movies for me, what I'm excited for, because I'm just going to read off all the ones that I'm interested in watching next year. Are you ready for this list? Avengers Endgame, Captain Marvel, Toy Story 4, The Lion King, Aladdin, Star Wars Episode 9, Dark Phoenix, Spider-Man Far From Home, Shazam, The The Lego Movie 2, Part 2, How to Train Your Dragon 3, New Mutants, Hellboy, Detective Pikachu, and the Joker. That's a lot of good movies, or potentially good movies, coming out in 2019. And it's going to be a ride. That's more movies that I'm going to watch next year than I watched this year, which means more than one movie per month. So I'm going to go over the top 8 anticipated for me for 2019. Number 8, The Lion King. Lion King's one my top 2 favorite. It's tied for the first place of my favorite Disney movies of all time. I'm excited to see it in live action. It's all just CGI, but realistic CGI is it. If they follow it, I think all the voice actors they got are really good. You know, they got Childish Gambino. You know, they got a lot of people I can't remember the name of, so I don't know why I went into who's in it. Number 7, I'm very excited for Captain Marvel. And yeah, it's number 7, but there are a lot of movies that I'm excited for. So just because it's low on the list doesn't mean that I'm not like primarily excited for it. Most of these I'm like equally excited for. So it's lower because it has to be. But I'm super excited for Captain Marvel. It comes out right before Avengers Endgame. It's going to bring in a really important character in the Avengers mythos, and I think it's going to be awesome. It looks really good. I think it's going to have such beautiful shots. It's going to have beautiful shots in the way that Black Panther and the Guardians movies have beautiful shots. You know, like the suit, they did a really good job with the suit. She looks really good in that suit. I was never a fan of the helmet, but I'm glad they have it because it's very accurate. But she looks awesome in the suit. Yeah. Number 6, Shazam. Love Zachary Levi. He's one of my favorite actors. I met him at Comic-Con this year. He's like, honestly, I could say that meeting him felt myself like just wanting to be gay for him. He was such a nice guy. He was so happy. He came out with a boombox. Oh man, he was excited. He was excited to be there. Kind of in the way that waiting on J.C. David Frank's line, it feels like he was waiting for you, even though he got there late. He made the line exciting with the music. He was so happy. He was so happy to talk to everyone. And he's such a good actor, I think. I loved him in Chuck. He was such a good actor. And this movie looks like so much fun. It's the perfect role for him because that's just like his personality is Shazam, I think. And I'm very excited. I think it will be fantastic. Number 5 is How to Train Your Dragon 3. I'm very excited for that. I loved How to Train Your Dragon 2. I cried at the end of it, almost. I get emotional with movies. Interesting. Do you cry during football? But anyway, I'm super excited for the 3rd. I hate that they spoiled the whole movie, seemingly, in the trailers, but I'm still going to watch the heck out of that. Number 4 is Aladdin. Pictures were just released today. All the characters. The only one that's underwhelming for me is Jafar because he doesn't look menacing enough and he doesn't have a long beard. He just has like a beard like mine. But I'm so excited for Aladdin. If the live-action Disney movies have anything to say about this one, I think it's going to be fantastic. I think it's probably going to be the best live-action Disney movie because you could just do so much with Aladdin. Aladdin was the other one that's tied for first place for top Disney movies. I would probably say Aladdin's probably my favorite Disney movie. I know it's tied, but like if I had to pick, probably Aladdin. Number 3 for me was Star Wars Episode 9. Say what you may about Episode 8. I really liked The Last Jedi. I understand why people had gripes against it. They did a lot of things to certain characters that certain longtime fans might not like. I trust in the Force. I think Abrams is going to bring it back around. I do believe a lot of things were ruined. A lot of plot points were ruined in 8 that Abrams brought about. But I think Abrams can fix it. I trust Abrams to fix it. Number 2 is Spider-Man Far From Home. Spidey's my favorite, all-time favorite. And you could see him right here. I got the Hot Toys Homecoming, and I am so excited for Far From Home because I can't wait to see more of Tom Holland. He's perfect as Spider-Man. Oh my god. So perfect as Peter Parker. So perfect as Spider-Man. I can't wait for the new movie. I think he's going to be fantastic. I think it's going to be fantastic. Mysterio looks amazing from the set photos that I've seen. I need a trailer. I need a trailer now. Like right now. Number 1 for me, though, is Avengers Endgame. Because it's the culmination of 10 plus years of Avengers movies, of Marvel movies, of the characters that I love and the characters that no longer exist in the universe until Endgame comes around. And it's just, I want it. I want it bad. I want it now. I want a trailer. But I also don't want anything to be spoiled from Captain Marvel. So I'm kind of conflicted in the sense where I want a trailer, but I don't want a trailer. Like, I could wait. I'm totally fine with just media blackout. So 2019 is going to be so insane. AMC is going to get a buttload of my money. So we talked about, yesterday you talked about this year, and today I'm talking about next year. But my question for you, Kevin, is over the years. You went to Penn State. Growing up with you, I know you've always wanted to go to Penn State. That was your dream school. You were super into the sports. You were super into the school. And when you were in school, obviously you were going to the football games all the time, whatever other games you can get to. But being out of school for the amount of time you have been now, what, 4 years now? It's been 4 years for me, so probably 3 years for you. 4 years? 5 years will probably be for me soon, so whatever. Being out for as long, are you still keeping up? Are you still a big fan of Penn State even after going there for a few years and experiencing it? Have you kept up? Is the team your favorite team, if it ever was? Or was it just brand loyalty? Yeah, that's it. Well, howdy there, everybody. Thank you for watching our video. My video. Kevin had nothing to do with this video. If you liked the video, leave us a like. If you can't live without the 90s guys, and you just can't get enough of my fake voice that's probably offended somebody, subscribe to us. You can follow me at 90s guy Tom on Twitter. You can follow that other guy at 90s guy Kev on Twitter. And you can follow us on Instagram at the 90s guys. I'm probably forgetting to say something here. So the only thing I could think of saying is Kevin is stinky cheese.